I'd take a set of intermediates in these unpredictable conditions. It looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly. Intermediate tyres are your best bet in the current conditions. Right, the car's ready. Let's get it out there. Okay, we've been pushed down to P13. No rain expected for the time being. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now. Right, that's us pushed down into P15. Lap times are dropping, looks like track conditions are starting. We're currently 6th in the speed trap, 315.0 kilometers per hour. Okay, that's all the checks complete. We're ready to go. We've dropped to P15. All set, we're ready to go, so let's get the car out onto the track. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Okay, our best lap so far, 1 minute 31.8. There are a few cars out on track. Perhaps we should get out there before it gets too busy. If you start to suffer from oversteer, come in and let us have a look at the setup. You'll get oversteer if the rear tyres lose grip before the front. Usually this will be coming from a lack of rear downforce or an overly stiff rear suspension, but a little tweak with negative camber or toe in can also help with this. We're 14th in the speed trap, 334.0 kilometers per hour. Okay, when you're ready, let's go. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:31.2. They're sitting in 7th. Okay, so their best lap so far, 1:32.1. Check's complete. Everyone be aware, we've got a car leaving the garage. Less than 1 lap of fuel left now, the tank's pretty much empty. Right, so our best lap so far, 1:31.2. We're currently 10th in the speed trap, 329.4 kilometers per hour. Okay, engines fired up, we're set. Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now. Okay, so their best lap time, 1:31.5. Right, their best lap time, 1:31.4. They're in 10th place. Right, their best lap, 1:32.0. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. Can now use DRS. DRS now available. might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Tyre condition still looking good. Seeing a lot of tyre deg now. We've got a new strategy if you want to take a look at it. Copy. Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. With the safety car out, this is a good opportunity to pit. We'll be a bit longer than planned on the next tyres, but we can make it work. Just remember, we'll probably lose track position. Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. You only have to stop once now. One stop left. Okay, this is not your true position. They haven't pitted yet, so don't waste time fighting them. They're going to be coming in soon. Okay, overtake the safety car. You may overtake the safety car. It's waiting to pick up the leader. Okay. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. You'll be controlling the pace on the restart. Keep it steady until the safety cars reach the pit lane. flag. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Tyre wear rates are lower than we expected. Stay out a little longer if you can. approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Push now, we're boxing this lap. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. Okay, pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed. If you think you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do. Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive. Okay, pit in this lap and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
GG.
First, oh, could you invite Rasta Cheech, by the way, Jordan, or somebody invite Rasta. But starting here with a gentleman claiming his first career Lightning Cup points. Cam Rudy found something in qualifying, made it all the way to Q3. Then in the race, fell back a little bit. Ultimately, his poise, lack of penalties, and race etiquette type professionalism made it enough for a P10. Cam, how do you feel after that? Crossing the line, moving up to P10, just getting in there. Let's go.
I think that's the most I've cheered. I've cheered more for that than I did a win. Like it was so
cheated?
stressful. That was I've never cheered as much in my life. That was painful.
How did you cheat?
No.
Cheering.
Oh,
cheering.
Okay. I was gonna be like, bro, not now. Wrong.
No, I've
we're
never.
live, bro.
No.
Not in front of Greg.
Yeah, I've got. It was a good fun race. There was some carnage, which was quite entertaining to watch. But I do feel sorry for the lads who were caught up into it.
Well, look, just for the drivers who are unaware what happened, during the safety car, Yanni was leading. He drove into the back of the safety car. Race leader drove into the back of the safety car, and then he had to pit. So that's why he ended up behind you guys. And, yeah, because he looked pretty dominant, man. But, Cam, talk about the pace that you found today. You've always had pace, but, I mean, to get to Q3, I think that's a first for you in the Lightning Cup. Were you practicing a lot? I got a message at 6 a.m. my time saying I want to race today. So that tells me you were probably grinding a bit.
It just came from nothing. I did about an hour's practice beforehand, and I thought I fancy a whack at this. And the lap that got me into Q3, it just connected up all together quite nicely. Big shout out to B Tom for the slipstream. Massive. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have made it through. So yeah, it just kind of clicked. But the race start, I just lost it.
Good to see for you, bro, because, you could argue you've kind of underachieved a little in the Lightning Cup. Then you come in today as a reserve, one of our strongest grids ever, and put up your first points. We know you're quick. Some tracks, especially Abu Dhabi or whatever it may be, you'll put up crazy lap times. But it's really good to see it come together for you, bro, because you deserve the results.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, it was a nice one.
Folks, go support Cam's League, too, CDR. It's Mondays, is it 8:30 UK time, PM?
8:30 UK time, yeah.
Hit me or Cam up for that. Great league, good admins. Shout out to Cam for being our head steward as well. He's a reserve, by the way, folks. Next up, another driver scoring their first ever Lightning Cup points, I believe. At least this season, I believe. Rasta Cheech.
Yes.
In the building right now. Again, we know how rapid you've become, especially on this game. You've elevated yourself to one of the top guys pace-wise. Race-wise, it hasn't really come to fruition. The pace hasn't been extrapolated necessarily to the leaderboard as standings. So as I've seen over the last 2 weeks, you're winning races in various leagues. You're getting podiums. I know because you tell me every time. And, you really wanted to be in this league. You clamored for it. You earned the spot. And now to see you putting up points, bro. You want to talk about the race?
Yeah, of course. Lap 1, I got rear-ended, so I went down to P20. And after that, it was just about keeping the head down and trying to find some pace. And at the end, I finished P8, so I'm pretty happy with the results.
Nice, man. And you made big moves as well. You didn't make it out of Q1. So what do you think it was? Just having the longevity to elevate yourself from wherever you started to a P8.
Honestly, I need to practice my quality a bit more. I think, especially in the Lightning Cup, going to Q3 is really difficult with the drivers in here, so I'm gonna work on that. But I think race pace is actually good. I can work on that too, but it's been good the last couple of races, so I'm gonna keep focusing and trying to get improve.
Well, again, bro, shout out to you. I always thought with you, it's maybe just got to get that full consistent race. Maybe I think you're just maybe pushing too hard the whole time. Maybe you got to chill out a little bit. But at the same time, that's what makes you so good too. So I guess you just got to find that balance, bro. And I wish you the best of luck, my friend. You're the man.
Thank you, man.
No worries. Next up, we are going to go right here to P7. Is it P7? No, P6. Chenzo. Another dazzling performance from the Greg Jennings Race Academy Red Bull. A 5 and 6 out of the boys again from the Mushroom Cup royalty. No secret, my favorite team, the one I'm cheering for. Chenzo, all races seem like you and Shirai were interlocked. No penalties at the end. You smart about it. Let the race come to you. Talk about your strategy today, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, basically, as you said, it just kind of be as consistent as I could be, and wait for the chances to come to me. But yeah, it was difficult. Everyone had really good pace, and eventually, the qualifying position didn't help. I think I started P12, but yeah, I ended up working my way through. Got lucky a couple times, and we came out with a good team result. Greg and I.
Yes,
You
sir.
want to, you want to talk about quickly working with Greg, being his teammate. And I also did mention there's a couple guys who it's so rare to see a penalty next to their name. Jordan, Greg, B. Tom, yourself. You want to talk about working with Greg and also how you guys are so good at just avoiding penalties overall, regardless of track.
Yeah, no, we have a very good understanding of how to work together. I guess to make our races work. Yeah, man. Honestly, we don't really have to talk much. We just kind of know in the moment that sometimes we have to let each other by, and it's not time to fight. But the goal is always to get the best possible result for the team. And yeah, man, keeping keeping the track warnings to a limit. It's difficult for sure, but I think in that way we've each pushed each other to just kind of keep it as clean as possible, because we've had races where that's been the difference between a win and a P2.
And
Absolutely.
And I believe it's almost like you guys, in a way, you guys are the only two drivers that kind of came into this league with a constructor's mindset. Obviously, you both want to do well individually, but it's almost like, the name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back with you guys. And I do love to see that. It happens that Greg has maybe got a couple more points than you, but even the race that Greg DNF'd and you got a P3, Chenzo, Greg was just as happy as the race he got a P3. So I think it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
If you just want to quickly, a couple of words on that, like the constructor element.
Yeah, no, it's always about the team, and sometimes we have bad luck, like that time in Japan where I had to kind of sacrifice my position, but that allowed Greg to really bag some excellent points. And
Still
yeah, man, it's just and I do it again. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to read the situation. Yeah.
Literally with you guys, I think most people would agree to, like, you're like almost the same skill level. Like, I don't know who's better. No one, like, you're like is. So any given race, one of you guys might be slightly better than the other, and I think you guys are always cool about kind of just working with that and facilitating it. So
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen, and we just gotta work with it, whichever way it goes. Yeah.
Thank you, folks. You know how much I love Chenzo. It's probably the longest interview ever to P6. So shout out, much love. Next up, though, it's probably going to be another hour because we got Greg Jennings here, team captain and principal of the Red Jennings Academy. I asked Chenzo a lot of the questions. You want to talk about the team aspect and work with Chenzo in a full-time season?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like Chenzo said, we kind of pick our moments to, benefit the team more so than the individual most of the time. I will say today we weren't really near each other for very long, but Chenzo caught up in the end there, and he had a great race of his own. For me, I felt like the pace was just a little bit lacking. Maybe the tire wear was a little bit much. I was just slowing down as kind of the race went on, which is a little bit unusual. But either way, took advantage of some chaos ahead. There's some issues with Mango and MacT, a couple other guys as well falling back, and just kind of stayed in it and tried to avoid the penalties, as you said, because they were so easy to get, and I was on the verge of getting them at the very end there. So yeah, it's been a blast working together. Today, 18 points. Sounds like a great, successful day, considering we had a couple extra guys in here, like that Yanni guy and Frozen and a couple others that aren't here all the time. So, yeah, Makuli did an amazing job as well.
Fantastic.
So it was tough out there, man. It was very tough. I had some good battling with Goatly as well. I wish we could have worked together a little bit more, but it was fun. And overall, happy with that one. And we're moving on to what's the next one? I forget.
Yeah, well,
I'll look it up.
yeah. Anyways, Greg, thank you so much, and again, thank you for everything you do. We all appreciate and love you, man.
Saudi next. Thank you, Bone.
Go check out Greg's stewarding in the Mushroom Cup. It's must-see action. Crazy. He's so good, folks. Greg, other than that, quickly though, was it going to rain or something? Did it say it was going to rain? Because the whole field started medium.
No, it
And
wasn't
it looked
gonna
cloudy.
rain. I think what happened there is the people, all the racers were wary of a safety car. And
Okay.
also this track, the hards are much more consistent. So everyone wanted to make sure they had them for later kind of thing.
Okay. So yeah, there was no rain in the forecast. Fair enough. All right, thank you so much, Greg, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate Chenzo. And again, I think our goal, I shouldn't say our, but was like 15, 16 points a race. So you guys have hit it every race.
Yes, sir.
Well done folks, to those guys. We are going to move up here to the P2 car. TTV Kaname was unhappy with me the last couple races. He didn't get his interview or his TB time. He's losing sponsorship deals by the second. But now, Kaname, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
My man, another steady race from you, bro. I mentioned all those other guys who never get penalties. You're in that group too. Rare 3-second for you late. That pretty much restricted you to a top finish of a P2 unless you're going to fight it. Comments on this race and that penalty at the end and how it may have deflated your chances.
Yeah, just too many mistakes. I did too many mistakes. But overall the pace was good. Lap 1, it was very tricky. I had a kick Sauber inside of my inside, and we almost crashed. But we don't really talk about that. And all right, bro, this man Jordan. It's man Jordan. But yeah, no. At the start, I went for the mediums like everybody else did. It's the strategy nowadays. Now, I tried saving a bit of tires for at least for the first 3 laps. Save some tires because the mediums aren't the best around this track. They don't have the best they don't have the best tire wear. Yeah, I went from P7 at one point. Just overtook, did a double overtake with the kick Sauber and I can't remember who it was. It was I think it was Mac T or something like that. I think it was Mac T. And yeah, got up to like I think P4. Then Mango had his little incident that made me get into P3. And at that point, I had I think his name was Yanni, and then beat him in front of me. They were quicker than me. They were pulling away. If there was any safety car, they would have probably. They were like pulling away from me like half a second.
Yanni was 2 seconds up when the safety car came out, and ultimately he drove into the safety car and got damaged. He was looking good, but I mean, it's kind of disrespectful just to say with 8 laps to go, with only 8 laps in, that he would have just drove off on B-Tom, because the gap was 2.3, then 2. So it's just like unfair, like to say, and like B-Tom's so good at managing the tires, so it's unfair to say Yanni would have drove away without a safety car, but he was looking good, you know.
No. What I was saying was him and B-Tom are pulling away. So like if it wasn't for that safety car, like I was gonna say, there was no chance of me even fighting for a P2 or maybe a P1 if I didn't get the penalty. So that kind of helped me a lot, because you know how B-Tom is with his tire. It's insane. Yeah. And so I tried my best. After the safety car, of course, I was P2 because Yanni pitted. Behind me was Mukioli, I think his name.
Mukuli.
Yeah, that's his name. And yeah, at that point it was just pushing nonstop for like 6 laps. I was just pushing my ass off like the whole time, and I somehow managed to overtake him. Don't remember what lap it was, but yeah, I pushed my tires a little bit too hard, and those were those few laps was when I got 2 warnings, and after I overtook him, I can tell he was kind of like slowing down a little bit and not trying to overtake me. So like that was really good because he's quicker than me. Like I wanted him to be behind me, because I knew if I didn't overtake him, bro, he was gonna probably pull away. And yeah, I could just tell that, you know, he was quicker, had better pace than me. And yeah, no, it was a good race till, you know, I got the penalty. I had oversteer on the final corner, and I turned in a little bit too early, and I got the pen, which sucks because I was doing pretty good. I don't know, maybe I would have won, but I'm
Well,
not
the
really
thing
sure.
is, my next question, TTV, you know me, I ask the hard-hitting questions here at T-Bone MZ. In your estimation, you know, let's keep it a buck here. A lot of these races, you know, you're finishing P2 behind B-Tom. In your estimation, what will it take to beat him regularly? I know you beat him before, but regularly and in league settings. In your estimation, what do you have to get better at to maybe get to his level and past it?
Just quality. I need to figure out quality. I mean, it's just like I keep qualifying P5, P6, P7. Like it's just not helping me at all in the race.
And
I do
conversely,
pick it up.
B-Tom
I do
has
pick it up
improved
in the
his
race.
quality.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a little bit more opposite. I was a bit quicker on last game in quali, like quite a bit quicker. Not than him, but like just like myself in general. Like I was just quicker overall. And I don't know, something about this game, I just cannot put in a good quality lap like the others. And it's just like me being six. I think it was like 6/10. I think I was away from pole. So that's insane. Like I mean, I was P6, but at the same time, like 6.
But to be fair, B-Tom wasn't that close to pole either. I think he started 3 or 4 today. Just so it's.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
trust me,
qualifying in
those
general,
positions
though.
help.
Bro, today no one was moving too much in the first 10 laps, so
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
really do
saying.
help.
That's what I'm
They really help.
saying.
Yeah, you're right,
Exactly.
bro. Well, Konami,
it
bro,
was a fun race though. It was a very fun race. I like the battles. I mean,
that's all that
sadly, like
matters.
the way this game works is I just have to be very aggressive, because if you don't be very aggressive, you're not gonna overtake anybody. So like most of the time, I just had to do a dive bomb into turn 1
Bro.
to try and overtake him. But I mean, I don't want to do that, but at the same time, like
My next
it's the only way.
comment, dude, is you've quietly become you've always been one of the best drivers, but you've become one of the most exciting drivers over the last 3 weeks. It's almost like you're looser now, and now that you say it, that you have had to be a little more aggressive, it explains. Not that you're dirty, but the battles we're getting out of you have been world class, bro. So, and as you said, you're having fun. So,
Yeah, you know.
but yeah, your style's
it's-
changed a little bit. It has.
Yeah, you've the stuff I'm doing the past few weeks, I really have never done. I always was more like a passive type of driver, but you know, on this game, you can't be passive. You have to be. If you have an opportunity, you have to go for it, because like, especially when someone's ahead of you that is quicker and you have an opportunity to pass them and give them dirty air, you know, all that good stuff. It just helps, you know. Especially against someone like B-Tom. If you have an opportunity to overtake him, bro, you have to take it. And
I was gonna say though, the way you've been racing has been incredible. Well, you've had some battles with Hemi, MacT, and B-Tom, but none of that works if the guy you're racing can't quote unquote dance too. So you got to give love to the guys you're battling, because if they ain't leaving the space or they're not capable of going too wide through tight spots, the way you're racing won't work. So shout out to them
of
too.
course. Yeah, you know, that's very true. They have special awareness.
You try that on me, you know you're DNFing.
Oh yeah, I'm gone.
Stick to the
I'm gone.
DRS.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Konami, brother, I appreciate you popping in and racing as always, bro. And I hope the SRL race went well. Man did back-to-back races today too, folks. So I'm sure he wants to go eat. You know.
Yeah, I need to go eat something. You're actually not wrong. But yeah,
Of
no,
course,
I
bro.
won in SRL, and I got second
Lovely.
place here. So like
Lovely.
it's been a good day
day.
on the racing side, but yeah, no, it was very fun. It was a very fun race. Like always, I mean, P2 is not what I want, but at the same time, considering I started P6 and everything that happened, I'll take P2.
Hell
Very
yeah.
fun.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. That was another episode of 60 Minutes here. I'm T-Bone. No,
Thank you,
I'm
bro.
joking, boys. I'm loving these interviews. But next up, if he's not asleep, B-Tom. Shout out Konami. B Tom, race winner. I don't know if he's still here. He might have just dozed off. We'll give him a minute here. Otherwise, let's have a word with Jordan Two-Wavy. Jordan, what were your thoughts on the race? I know you didn't see too much of it, but what you're hearing. And
it sounded very interesting from what I heard it. So
it was. And I was also mentioning, Jordan, I told the stream you're hosting. You want to host a race tonight, 100%.
Oh yeah, I was
8
going to
p.m.
announce it. I was going to announce it the second this stream
Go
ended,
for it.
but since we're here, tonight at 8 p.m. EST, 1 a.m. GMT, 100% at Spa.
What?
Wait,
Oh
where?
my god.
Yeah, Spa.
Bro,
yeah,
I feel like you
I'm
guys have
playing.
done Spa so many times.
We done Spa
Like, how many
once,
times have
and
we
that was
been to
Thursday.
Spa?
No, we
Bro,
don't want to think.
whatever, I'm not racing
anyway.
anyway. I'm like, are you guys
Thursday was the
bored of
last time we done
Spa?
Spa.
Are you guys
Bro, it's-
bored
We
of
haven't
it?
done
Like,
Spa in a
every
while.
race I see is Spa.
Wow, I love it, man.
We did an exhibition there like 2 nights ago. Whatever, I don't care.
That was a league race in Spa.
It's the same shit. Anyways,
You're not wrong. to be fair.
B-Tom, are you here? All right, folks,
He's
look.
gone, bro. He's gone, bro.
B-Tom, yeah, it's been a long press conference anyway. So shout out B-Tom. Oh, he's here now.
Yeah, I've been
He's
here.
alive.
B-Tom, winner of 4 of 5, the first 5 Mushroom Cup or Lightning Cup races this season. Even longer streak dating back to last season. I don't know the numbers he does, but he's been dominant, of course, man. B-Tom, today's race, I was not given or gifted to you at all, but at the end, I think just like your perseverance and ability to keep that car on track and staying out of trouble was the key. I'm not saying you wouldn't have won anyways. Yeah, you want to talk about that? And that was kind of a race of attrition.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's just one consecutive win. Obviously, we know in Imola I got a penalty post race.
Yeah.
I disagreed with the outcome, but you know it is what it is. You move on. But part of it does hurt because if not for that, it would have been 12 consecutive wins. But you know it is
Oh
what
my
it is.
Jesus.
Poor baby. Aww.
Don't worry, B-Top. Don't worry.
But
Wait, before that, who was it that won? That's insane. 12.
I think it was you. At
Well,
Cota.
yo, I do
Oh,
like that
really?
Wingish is the one that broke B-Tom's streak. That is kind of poetic. Even though he's kind of not the one who did it. But
Yeah.
anyways, B-Tom, talk about the race, bro. Class act. Sorry for chirping so much.
Yeah, it's pretty good. In the first stint, I think, I forget the guy's name. The guy in the McLaren. I think
Yanni.
Yeah,
I think he had a bit more.
he hit the
pace than
safety
me.
car.
Yeah, I saw. I watched it happen. Yeah, but I think he just had a bit more pace than me. Like maybe 1 or 2 tenths of a lap. He's just consistently eking out the gap slightly. So I don't think I would have beaten him under normal circumstances, but maybe there would have been a chance had I qualified a bit better. I made a mistake, and well, 2 big mistakes in my last run, which cost me the front row, and obviously Mango. You know, I don't want to say he did what he does best, but you know, he did his thing. And there's a break in the DRS train, so
I'm gonna say it for you, bro.
yeah, from that point onwards, it was just gonna be, you know, a race for P2. But you know, we had the safety car. He got screwed over by the timing, and then he just rammed it to the back of the safety car. So at that point, it was just a matter of, you know, not messing up, and thankfully managed to do that. So yeah.
Look, B-Tom, you know, it's no secret. One of the reasons you're so dangerous is you could win a race in a large variety of ways. It doesn't have to be driving away. Usually it's not just driving away from a field. You usually just kind of figure it out, and when the dust settles, you somehow just end up in P1. So yeah, you kind of just always figure it out. They say stacking podiums might be the key to winning a title, but I know you want to win every race you're in. And I hate to just kind of go off the Lightning Cup today, but last night in PRL, I was half asleep, but I do think it was one of the most impressive performances you've ever had last night in the Netherlands, man.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't even get interviewed about that race.
Oh no, I
So,
didn't. I
like,
didn't.
you want to talk about that? You took the soft tires 16 laps in the sprint and finished ahead of Mick Jammy, who I consider one of the 2 or 3 best drivers I know.
Yeah, it was just 12 laps, 16 laps. Probably
Okay,
a little
12,
bit too
sorry.
much,
It seemed like 16.
um, but yeah, I didn't have enough time to adjust my tire pressures, or change my strategy. Partly because I wasn't paying attention. So I thought I was cooked basically from lap one, but managed to get track position early on, and then I was just trying to save my tires as much as I possibly could, so I'd have something to fight with at the end, and managed to work out. By the end of the race, it was below 60% wear, whereas I know others on mediums were above that point. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the tire management early on was critical. So,
And you won the actual Grand Prix as well. And that was a crazy race. Rain on and off, safety cars. Someone might have messed with the weather. I don't know. But
yeah,
and the main thing I took from that is you took Mick Jammy's best punch, and you came out on top. And I'm not throwing any shade at Mick Jammy. I'm talking. It's just a compliment. In my opinion, Mick Jammy's a bar.
yeah,
Like he's the best. Like him, B Tom, whoever else it may be, man. So
well,
to
it's
me,
not
that was just
confirmed
crazy
yet, though.
impressive. And you guys are just so tight in terms of like the skill and the racing. And you guys were like side by side at certain points through the Netherlands. So
Yeah,
shout out to McJammy, shout out to you, bro. I don't even know who's better. I think you're like literally so close, man, and it's a pleasure to watch, honestly.
yeah. There's a chance he wins both because he reported me for something in both the sprint and the race, but we'll see how it turns out. Regardless of the outcome, I felt like I drove well, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I was
Sort-
watching the
it
whole
is what
time.
it is. Yeah.
I was just there watching.
Well,
Yeah.
look, that's PRL business, but again, sorry to the Lightning Cup folks for kind of talking about PRL here. But anyways, we're gonna wrap up the stream here, guys. Stay for a second. I'm just gonna end the stream. Thank you everyone for racing. Shout out B Tom, Kaname, Makuli, everyone who had a great race, Frozen, everyone, man. I'm T-Bone. We're out. Guys, end of the broadcast. Yo, what happened last night, B Tom? I didn't see the McJammy thing.
Yeah, so
I'm an admin
I
of
think
PRL. I
I
can
think
find
Konami
it.
might have seen it. We were going
I
side
can
by
find it.
side, through the flat right-hander to start of sector two,
Oh
and
yeah,
then the one
bro.
after that, like we just made a bit of
Yeah.
contact and he went wide, and
And
then
I gained a position. I remember
yeah,
that.
and then in the main race, he reported me for going too slow into the safety car. He's like, oh, he's gonna cause a concertina effect and cause an accident. It's not like I did a Piastri and just like slammed on the brakes. I just gradually slowed down to a relatively low speed just because the
He's one of those that just report you for certain things just because he lost.
yeah.
What I'm hearing.
But like
Yeah, that's crazy.
around there, like the limiter's so wonky, so I was like, I'm gonna just go slow and wait, because
I mean, I already know how you do safety car restarts, bro.
yeah,
So, yeah, I already know what's about to happen.
Yeah, bro, that was.
the
I
main
was gonna say, did
reason
anyone
I do
report
it is
anything?
because like I think it was like 2 years ago at this point. I was in a league race and someone went slightly too early, and then the limiter, like everyone hit the limiter, and I just got smacked up the back. Pause. But damage was on standard, so I had floor damage and rear wing damage, and got completely fucked over. So I was like, I don't want that to happen to me or anyone else, so I'm just gonna, guarantee that there's no chance that the limiter gets activated again.
Oh, well done, boys. Well fucking done.
Yeah, it was...
Frozen says he got fucked up in Q1 or whatever. That's why he had to start the back. It wasn't intentional. He says he spun.
I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Because he even said he didn't want to do it with those guys and you guys.
What, the race?
He said no. He said he didn't want to start from the back because I said, "Oh, you're doing last to first." He's like, "No, I fucked up, bro." He's like,
Oh yeah.
he said he couldn't do it with like you guys and Yari or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, maybe he could have with a safety car, but like it's ambitious.
Wait, last to first in LC?
He didn't mean to do it though. He just fucked up.
But to be
but
fair, he
I
did catch
thought it-
up. It's just like they were a safety car. So
Yeah, and like if that Yanni guy was still, it's tough. It's a tough ask,
Yeah.
bro. If there's no safety car, it's a really hard ask.
yeah.
Because
Yeah, no,
Frozen
no.
had a hard time Frozen had a hard time catching Kaname or you, B Tom, and Makuli. He only caught you guys because you were battling.
Yeah, it literally.
The DRS must have been really strong, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason why I was battling so hard is because they had penalty, especially Frozen.
Yeah.
But then I got a
that
penalty,
helped Frozen catch up though too, you know.
Yeah. No, that for sure. Yeah, and then I got a penalty, and I was like,
No,
yeah,
but it's not like you and B Tom could have just chilled and worked together because McCooley's right behind you and he's got 3 seconds, so he's trying to get through, you know.
Yeah.
And if he does get through, he's not exactly just going to drive away, so he's going to be in front of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I get it. It's kind of a tricky situation, for sure.
Yeah,
But yo, it's so sick when you guys go too wide through the whole sector 3. You guys do it every time, bro. Except today, B-Tom was running you a little wider than the exhibition race. I noticed. Not dirty, but like just a little less nice, you know?
Yeah.
I could see it was a little different. You guys were still respectful, but I could see it was a little different. Because you guys just raced here like in an exhibition, right?
Yeah.
So it was a little, you're fighting a little. Yeah, dude. That was where you had the craziest battle I've ever seen. We're like 2 weeks ago we raced here, and I was like, that's the sickest battle I've ever seen. You guys are magic on this track.
Yeah, it's only certain tracks, bro, when I can actually maybe win. But
I could tell today you both a little more aggressive with each other, but still like clean, you know?
Yeah.
Like if B-Tom had you on the outside, he was running you as wide as he could, you know?
Yeah.
But he's still allowing you to have half your car on the tracks, just racing shit, you know? Sure, you're doing it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. I noticed the difference.
On the straight, he moved a little bit on the braking. Oh my god.
At 8 p.m., Jordan.
Yeah, 8 p.m.
I'm gonna go take a nap because I'm tired as fuck. So.
Good. Announce it, Jordan. Announce it and shit. I don't count on me to plan it.
Spa.
Oh, bro, again.
I was gonna do Brazil, but I was gonna do Brazil, but we're doing Brazil tomorrow in Mushroom. I didn't, you know.
It's like we haven't. There's no track we've done more than Spa or Great Britain. Whatever, it's your shit, but don't expect me to fucking race.
You don't race anyway. You don't race anyway.
Yeah, it's your loss, dude.
I know he's trolling. I know he's trolling.
So why, you want one less good driver on the grid? It's your fault. Be my guest, dude.
We're gonna do Monaco 100%.
Buddy, bro, you guys are all so soft, dude. You guys are all so soft, bro. The Monaco thing, bro.
Nah, bro, I can't do that shit. I mean,
you wouldn't even do it to help me keep my streak alive? Jordan, I know you would do it. You're probably one of the ones who signed up. Unlike that nanny B-Tom. Grandma over here. Is he still in the chat? I hope he can hear me.
I like Monaco, but just quality though. I don't like the race.
I'm not.
Dude, that shit will be fun.
I'll do a 5
next season, bro. First of all, Monaco's on the Mushroom Cup calendar this year. I hope you guys all race. You better reserve.
I'm sending out.
TTV, you better reserve, dude.
I'm gonna watch the stream. I'm gonna watch the stream.
In Monaco. Yeah,
Jordan, you're nuts, bro. You're a fucking grinder, bro. You'd be there.